she also alleges in this lawsuit that, hotel security seen her get abused and they told her to leave the hotel for her own safety. And she claims that, Diddy, he paid for the hotel footage of the night that she got assaulted.
That's real easy. Why you can't find the tape of Big's murder at the Peterson Museum? Why you can't find the tape right outside the museum? The museum has to have, just like the hotels, your cameras had to reach more than 100 feet from the hotel for the insurance purpose. Why is that footage missing? Why is the footage from Cassie missing? Why is the footage from Big missing? Because somebody paid somebody for something. Like I said, those people in that music business, they have friends that have friends. They pay people to make shit happen, and they pay people to make shit go away. They strong, bro. Don't think they ain't strong. You have to have God in your life, man, not to fear these people. And know that you gotta go just as hard as they go when something go down.
Of course Swiss was at Plenty Diddy Party. Plenty Diddy Party. And everybody know he bisexual just like his wife. Fucking weirdos.
We trying to shake up the world, baby. You know what I'm saying? We trying to do some real shit out here. You know what I mean? I got in my Diddy mode. I'm sorry. I started licking my lip. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yo, Diddy, you gave me the ooshkash goosmash. You gave me the ooshkash muaf. The shmoosmash. Diddy. Yeah, son. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You gave me the ooshkash muash.
Of course Swiss was at Plenty Diddy Party. Plenty Diddy Party. And everybody know he bisexual just like his wife.
Man, I watched a ton of these videos today, like all shorts, I watched a ton of them, I listened to them and shit, I was in a position where, I had nothing better to do, and I watched this shit, and it just, just dawns on me how people outside of the bubble look at us and shit. We're gigantic children. We ain't gigantic children, it's a lot of high school bullshit, I think I've looked at so much of this, these clips, these shorts that, I can barely stomach looking at somebody with like a baseball cap on or like a fucking collared or no collared shirt on or some kind of jersey, and just, some, chick that looks like she a burnout, bum bitch, just sitting up there. I'm not refuting anything they're saying and shit, but I like to posit this, after, my years, my past and everything, and over there on the West Coast and everything, like a lot of these guys are talking about parties and secrets and just spilling and shit because they got the okay to do that. Okay, it's not just because they see lawsuits and shit. They got the okay to do that. All right, they look like children, man. This is why a community has no fucking power whatsoever and shit. Don't you think the people outside of the supposed ethnic bubble, don't you think they do even worse? I could tell you some shit right now, blow your mind and shit, but I won't, because I'm not like these people, alright? But like, just consider that the people snitching and everything, they are part of that shit too. They were looking at that shit too, and for some reason or another, they were cast out, and now they feel like shit. Okay, even the guy sitting up who said he was, the guy's bodyguard and shit. I'm like, hey, why would the fuck you be that close and shit? Why would you be that close to something, and why would they allow you to be that close without you partaking in it? They usually do some kind of fidelity test. They test you for this shit. I know. Okay? I've seen all kind of shit, I've interacted with celebrities that probably was doing some shit like that, in a certain industry. And I'll tell you right now, they have like security for security and shit. They have motherfuckers posted as sentries at points on a hotel floor before you even get to see, the celebrity's personal security and deal with shit. Next year I had to run in with a rapper, a G-Unit rapper and shit. And his security team snuck up on me, man. Like, it was a misunderstanding, but these some giant motherfuckers, they snuck up on me quick and didn't realize I was doing my job. It just kept it above. And the fuckhead celebrity, he went about his business, clapping some cheeks. Alright? He didn't say one word to me, he didn't say boo, he just me-mugged me and shit. I didn't think anything of it, but I felt like planting my fist in his face so hard that I would break my hand. Right? You'd be surprised at what I was talking about. Yeah, all these snitches and shit running their mouth, and you don't see any of these motherfuckers, and doing the Jimmy Hoffa, disappearing or nothing. And especially cops and shit, like off-duty cops, they was getting easy money back in the day. I remember when Biggie died, right? I remember the day Biggie died. I remember when Eazy-E was reported dead and all this shit. And like these people are fucking ops from top to bottom. The motherfucker in the middle of this shit and everything around them is shit. Okay? That's how they control everything. The motherfucker that, we don't want to say and shit because you don't want to get canceled. They put people all around you. You don't know who's looking at your ass and shit. Everybody's got a phone. They get everybody telling each other. The motherfucker at the top and shit who don't necessarily look like us and shit. He'll put motherfuckers around a certain person and shit to watch them, and then give them a number to call. But it's another asshole that's watching the motherfucker they're calling and shit, and he just go about his business doing his shit, and they just have a laugh. The real money, the real power and shit. All right, and I just it makes me sick. All these goddamn snitches, and I probably tell them the truth and shit. It's disgusting. Okay, and you try to think like, how could I be in the industry and just not I don't want to get fucked in the ass and shit. I don't want to do anything disgusting. I want to be with a old non-melanated man, like the decrepit old Methuselah man doing some shit, teabagging your ass and all this shit. And then you get to go pretend like you the man and shit. You got all the bitches and the money, but you got to get your ass clapped and shit. And everything's just set up. You really don't understand the show business until you behind the scenes looking at the shit and all the handlers and all the motherfuckers with notes and shit and the people just around. Everybody's always stressed the fuck out. Everybody's always stressed the fuck out. And everybody always side-eyeing everybody. I can't tell you how many people side-eyed my ass and shit and didn't realize I was just going about my business. And then they had this look of relief, but then they hate you too because they want you to be like them and shit. And these motherfuckers telling all these stories and shit. At some point, they done did something fucked up. Okay, they got a hand in their ass and shit. I don't want to go any further. Stretching credibility or the standards and practices of this fucking platform and shit. But just consider the assholes you listening to. At one point, they was doing all that nasty shit too. And that's why I don't give a fuck about these goddamn females because they made a conscious decision. They made a conscious decision. I'll put it this way. I hate to be, put it this way, but for me, the point was driven home. Okay, driven home by a now deceased acquaintance of mine. Now, I was talking to him and I asked him if the sex tape that Jane Kennedy supposedly had out with her husband, Leon Isaac Kennedy, was real. He said that it was. And I said, hey, do you have a copy? I want to look at that. And he said, no, if you look at it, it'll fuck your head up, the shit she's doing. It's disgusting. You wouldn't believe it's, Jane Kennedy and shit, And, old heads will know what I'm talking about. Right? Old heads, I know what I'm talking about. She was, ended her career as a conservative, whatever. And she's married to the motherfucker that was in a penitentiary movie. Right? Her name was Jane Kennedy. But, I wanted to see the tape. Then he said he didn't have the tape. I knew he was lying. And then he took out a tape and showed me another tape. That made me not ask for the Jane Kennedy tape. He showed me a tape of Chuck Berry and some white poo button shit. Shout out to Jonathan Majors. He showed me a sex tape of Chuck Berry with this woman. They were in a bathtub. Alright? And he did some fucked up shit. And at the end of it, he did something that was fucked up. But the shit that he did that was more fucked up, I won't mention, but the shit he did to end that off was disgusting. And after he did it, he told the woman, you are disgusting. Alright, clean yourself up and shit. And he got out of the tub and walked out of frame. Bucket neck. It was Chuck fucking Berry. And I said, how the fuck do you have this? He said the woman put that shit out because she wanted to extort money off him. And she didn't care. She was a nobody. She didn't care. She wanted to sully his good name and destroy his image and shit. And I just laughed my fucking ass off and shit. Because it's so fucking true in this day and age. That, what Eddie Griffin said. Black men don't get out of show business clean. They dirty your ass up. And that's what happens here and shit. And I don't care about the fucking women because they made a decision to do that shit right off the rip. They would have never been in that situation if they had made that decision to be next to the money.
a rage.
Oh yeah? Yo, why is that, G?
Other races, they say we act like rats in a cage. I tried to argue, but check it. Every night in the news, we prove them suckers right, and I got the blues.
America.
Get busy, Humpty.
The red, the white, the blue and the red for Crimson plus the white for who's got you doing time. Busting caps on one another.
The underground's down for peace among brothers.
Kill a black man.
What?
Yo, what are you retarded?
Tell them, Hump.
Yo, do you work for the Klan?
Do what you like.
Unless you like gang banging. Let's see how many brothers leave us hanging.
This message has been paid for by the Dusties. Yes, the niggas you love to hate.